Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. UFC 269 is almost here. The fight card is just stacked with amazing fights. I've already done a few prediction videos for UFC 269. I will link them in the description as well as the end cards if you want to check them out after this video. But on the main card, we have Geoff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio, and this video is going to be my full breakdown and prediction for this welterweight fight. Now, before I get into my prediction, if you guys want to support the channel, we have custom emojis, loyalty badges, as well as behind the scenes stuff, and also a private members only Discord chat where we're going to be talking live during the fights, UFC 269. If you guys want to support the channel, become a member. The link is in the description. So if you look at the tail of the tape, Geoff Neal is currently ranked number 12, while Santiago Ponzinibbio is ranked number 14 in the UFC official rankings. Neal is 31, while Ponzinibbio is 35. Neal is 5'11", while Ponzinibbio is 6 foot. And Neal has a 75-inch reach, while Ponzinibbio has a 73-inch reach. So a youth advantage for Geoff Neal and a little bit of a reach advantage for Geoff Neal. If you look at Geoff Neal's resume, he comes in this fight on a 2-fight losing streak. His last fight was against Neil Magny back in May of this year, and it was just an uninspired performance. I feel like it lacked fight IQ. He kept getting the worst of the clinch, but he kept insisting on clinching with Neil Magny. He was getting outstruck by Neil Magny. It was clear to me that I thought Geoff Neal was the better striker, but the volume was just not there, and Neil Magny was just throwing 3 or 4 punches for every one punch that Geoff Neal was throwing. So that lost to Neil Magny, and also that's an opponent in common he has with Santiago Ponzinibbio. We'll talk about that when we talk about Ponzinibbio. But overall, I just thought it was a terrible performance. He got out-grappled. He got outstruck. Cardio didn't look all that great. I thought Geoff Neal won the first round, but then Neil Magny took the second and third round. Now, before that was Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, December of last year. And he pretty much, he was competitive in this fight, but Wonderboy just kind of picked him apart as he was moving in. Geoff Neal fights very well moving forward. And, Wonderboy, we know how he's an elite striker, and he was just able to clip Geoff Neal every time he was coming in. Geoff Neal had his moments. He's got a good left hand that he landed a couple times throughout the fight. But overall, Wonderboy Thompson just showed that Geoff Neal did not belong in there with him. You look over the rest of his resume, he has some notable wins. Mike Perry is a decent win at the time. He beat him back in 2019. Nico Price, decent win. Bilal Muhammad, decent win. But overall, the resume is not that great. And the 2 step-ups in competition that he lost both those fights. And he comes in this fight, 2-fight losing streak. There's a lot of pressure on him. He loses a 3rd fight. And who knows, he might be out of the UFC. Also, I wanted to mention this fight may get canceled. Supposedly, as of right now, it's on, but Geoff Neal was recently arrested. So that's kind of an X factor in this fight. What is he doing? I think he was arrested for DWI as well as weapons charges. So hopefully this fight doesn't get canceled, and this prediction video wasn't for nothing. But as of right now, the UFC said it's still on. So you look over at Santiago Ponzinibbio. His last fight was against Miguel Baeza, June of this year, and it was a pretty good performance. He lost the first round. Baeza was getting the better of him. Baeza is a very promising prospect, and Santiago Ponzinibbio put it on him in the 2nd and 3rd round, put the pressure on him, land nasty strikes. As Baeza started to slow down, Ponzinibbio really started to just press forward and throw nasty combinations. Both guys were trading heavy calf kicks in this fight. Before that was against Li Jingliang in January of this year, where he got brutally slept. He overcommitted. I think it was on a right hand. Li Jingliang countered him with a massive left, landed right on the chin and put him to sleep. It was in the end. It was towards the end of the first round, but it was a competitive fight up until that point. Li Jingliang was chopping legs. Guys were throwing punches back and forth. Both were landing. I thought Li Jingliang was winning the round, but it was very competitive up until that counter where he just absolutely slept Ponzinibbio, brutal KO. Before that, he took some time off. He didn't fight from November of 2018 all the way until January of 2020. So some significant time off. But his last fight before the Li Jingliang knockout, which some people attribute it to ring rust, was a brutal KO win over Neil Magny. Just looked excellent in this fight, picked him apart, was chopping his legs constantly throughout this fight, and finished him via KO in the 4th round. Slept Neil Magny face down, and Neil Magny is a very durable guy. So to go out there and sleep Neil Magny, very impressive. And again, opponent in common there. Neil Magny, Santiago Ponzinibbio beats him by KO, and Geoff Neal loses to Neil Magny by decision. Now, I'm not into MMA math, so I don't believe that necessarily means Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to win this fight because he won to a guy that Geoff Neal lost to. But also, you look down the resume, you go back down, not the greatest of resume, decent win over Mike Perry back in 2017, decent win over Gunnar Nelson, but other than that, not the greatest of resumes. And both these guys, what's crazy about both these guys is at one point, a lot of people believed that Santiago Ponzinibbio as well as Geoff Neal may be the future of the welterweight division. Both of them were up-and-coming prospects, and then now at this point, they're kind of in a position where it's now or never. Geoff Neal, a little bit younger, 31 years old. Santiago Ponzinibbio is 35. It's now or never for him. If he can beat Geoff Neal, he's in store for a big fight after that. But it's crazy how both of these guys, I remember thinking, Geoff Neal looks super technical and could be, a future contender in the division. And I used to think the same about Santiago Ponzinibbio up until he was out forever and then came back and got KO'd by Li Jingliang. So as far as my prediction for this fight, I have gone back and forth on this prediction. And truly, as I'm recording this video right now talking, I'm still 50-50 on both guys because you look at both guys, they both like to pressure. They both fight the best when they're moving forward. Geoff Neal throws great combination as he's pressuring. Same with Ponzinibbio. If you're pushing him backwards, he has a little bit of trouble. And I feel like you look at both fighters, Geoff Neal's a little bit more technical than Santiago Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio has a little bit more power. Geoff Neal probably has the edge as far as cardio. Santiago Ponzinibbio tends to slow down a little bit, but it's not like a glaring issue. It's not like he's gassed out in the third round. The Baeza fight, he won the second and third round, and it was a high output fight. But I would just give the slight edge to Geoff Neal. I don't think either one of these guys is going to try to initiate the grappling. Geoff Neal, sometimes when he's getting outstruck, he likes to clinch a guy and push him up against the cage. He was trying to do it to Neil Magny, and he ended up getting tossed down a couple times and tripped down a couple times. But I really don't think in this fight either one of these guys is going to try. I think this is going to be a great fight because I really believe that both guys are going to move forward and look to land their strikes, and it's going to be a technical fight. Now, Santiago Ponzinibbio, one thing I noticed about him, especially going back and rewatching some of his older fights, he has many tools, but he has fallen in love with his hands. It's like he doesn't throw enough kicks or to the body, to the legs. I mean, he threw some of them, especially in that Neil Magny fight a while back. He used them very well, and he used them in the Baeza fight, but not to the extent he should be using them. He just likes to throw these wild looping punches. Meanwhile, Geoff Neal likes to be super technical, straight left down the middle. And that's why it's so hard for me to pick this fight. I really think it comes down to two selections. And I really think that Geoff Neal can probably win by decision just because he's the more technical fighter if he can stay safe. But if Ponzinibbio really starts to dictate the pace and move forward, I could see him getting a TKO finish. But again, Geoff Neal, super durable. So for my official prediction, I'm not super confident in this. I flipped back and forth a million times. I am going to go, and I'm literally making this pick as I'm recording this right now. I'm going to go Santiago Ponzinibbio by decision. I think that Geoff Neal is more technical. I think he could KO Ponzinibbio, and I'm a little bit worried about Ponzinibbio's chin, especially after that KO to Li Jingliang. But Ponzinibbio just looks like he wants it so bad when he's in there. Like, he knew he was down the first round against Miguel Baeza, and he came out in those second and third with heavy pressure. And not Neil Magny, if Geoff Neal gets pressed backwards, he does not fight very good moving backwards. And Ponzinibbio, when he gets in his groove and starts moving forward and throws heavy combinations, he'll throw 4 or 5 punch combinations, and he will find Geoff Neal, and that's Geoff Neal's problem. He can get out-volumed. I believe he was the better striker against Neil Magny, but he just got out-volumed. Neil Magny was throwing more punches and landing more punches. Therefore, Neil Magny ended up getting the decision. So I think Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to do the same thing. I hope that Santiago Ponzinibbio starts mixing up his attacks. It's much better when you vary your attack. Kick the legs. He has great leg kicks, but he doesn't use them as often as he should. Great body kicks as well, but he just loves throwing those wild looping punches. But I'm worried though, with those wild looping punches, Geoff Neal can land a straight left counter right down the middle, and he catches him off guard, off balance, overcommitting on a strike, could put him to sleep. But Geoff Neal hasn't shown that he has some crazy one-punch KO power, so I don't think that happens, but I'm a little bit worried about Ponzinibbio's chin. So again, I'm going with Santiago Ponzinibbio by decision. I think he may lose the first round, but I think he will turn it up in the second and third round. He will press Geoff Neal backwards, land combinations, and win on the judges' scorecards. 29-28, Santiago Ponzinibbio is what I think is going to happen. But I really think this is a 50-50 fight. It could really go either way. So let me know in the comments, who do you guys think is going to win this fight? Do not forget to like the video if you enjoy these prediction videos, and thank you so much for watching.